Welcome to another edition of It's a Great Day at SAGU podcast. Mr. Carnell, what's up?
Hey, man, not a whole lot. Glad to be back here, live in the pod. You know, we are getting such notoriety because of these podcasts. We're getting requests.
Oh, thousands, I'm sure.
People are saying we need to do these a lot more frequent because we are just not getting them out fast enough.
Oh, so it's been a month. So what happened? I mean, it's literally been a month since we've done this.
It's been a month, yes.
We're going the opposite direction. Maybe there's a purpose for that.
We need to get them out a little quicker. That's for sure.
So what's happening in the alumni department? You had some big meetings this week, didn't you?
And we did. We had our alumni council, which is every spring we have an alumni council, and we kind of talk about homecoming. We talk about the award recipients that are going to receive our alumni awards, and it was a great time. Had a good time, and got to go play a little top golf action. Guess where we went, Steve?
Y'all went to Top Golf.
Top Golf, yes, in Fort Worth.
No, I went to the one in Fort Worth.
Well, we went to this one as well.
You went to the wrong one.
We went to Fort
This is a
Worth.
whole different event.
It's a whole different
We
event.
went this week.
We went this week. It was Top Golf in Fort Worth.
Well, that's the right Top Golf to go
It
to.
is
I'll
right
just say
Top
that.
Golf.
By far.
yeah.
Way better experience.
You're not going to go
yeah.
through this with him sitting here, are you? To embarrass him?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
All right.
No, I was just talking about Top Golf. I
Okay.
don't know what Rick was talking about.
I don't know what any of y'all are talking about. I love Top Golf, and the Fort Worth location
In the Fort Worth, yeah, it is the best one.
is the best one. It's the right
the
one.
best one. Yeah, we had a great time there.
James and I had a really good time. We had a lot of food too, didn't we?
Well, a couple weeks ago,
Yeah. Mhm.
we went to the Dallas the Dallas Top Golf,
Yeah.
and not the Fort Worth one. We went to the Dallas.
There was 4 bays set up, lots of food.
Lots of food.
And Steve had some guests with him, but he said he was there. I couldn't find him anywhere.
Yeah, we invited Steve to come along with us.
Yeah.
To be there with us because we had a lot of food. But
And we're talking about Steve Fiedler here.
Steve Fiedler, yes, who's right next to us, head of
Yes.
marketing
Uh-huh.
director.
Yeah.
But Steve, he decided he liked the Fort Worth Top Golf better.
Yeah. And so,
So we just ate all the food by ourselves.
yeah. How was your event, Steve?
Yeah,
My event was awesome. The golf was incredible.
awesome. That's great.
I'm sure we had just as much food as you did.
I bet you did.
Sorry,
yes.
y'all had to partake all by yourself.
Did
But,
you have those little puffs that you could inject with jelly? Those things
Oh,
were
yes, those are the
amazing.
greatest.
Love those things.
Yeah. We got high reviews.
Those
So,
were great.
Carnell, we're inviting people next to us to come and share our food. He has his SAGU shirt on, and I think they thought we were a Christian cult. They're like, come on over and eat our food. Why? It's free. Why?
Yes, they kept looking. So what are you exactly? Well, my bicycle's parked outside, but we're just a small Christian university.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, mercy.
Well, I want to share a little bit about leadership. Anybody knows what that is around here?
No, please tell us.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, the obvious servant leader is Jesus. And there's a couple things that I've discovered that I thought I might share today with anyone who's wanting to know a little bit more about leadership. So here's what we can learn from Jesus. Number one, he could identify the people who had potential leadership abilities. Namely, who, James?
The 12 disciples.
Very good.
Do I want me to name them?
No. He asked them to follow, but he did not demand it. Number 3, he expected full devotion to the cause. No servant can serve 2 masters, Luke 16:13. And last, he was patient with his disciples' shortcomings. He knew he had to teach and live out leadership.
Wow, that's the tough one. Patience.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I prayed for patience one time.
You did? What happened?
I stopped praying for patience because I prayed for patience, and then I got in Houston traffic.
Yeah.
And I found myself wishing that I had not prayed for patience because it was not good.
It usually works that way.
Yeah.
I do like what John Maxwell says. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Steve, what do you think about that? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think he boils it all down. I think that is the epitome of leadership is influence. I think John Maxwell certainly has it right, and to the ability that we can extend that. I think that's really, I think you can fluff it up. You can put a lot of things around it, but at the end of the day, that leadership is influence, and I think that's it.
John also says that if you think you are leading and no one is following, you're just taking a walk. And that's a good point, right?
That is a good point. But, I mean, leadership can get so, you can go so many different directions with it, but it's pretty simple.
Yes.
Influence. If you can influence someone else, you can be a good leader.
That's right. Wow.
Well,
wow.
So we started off with a little spiritual food
Yes.
there. Now it's time to...
Can I take an offering? No?
No. But now it's time to have a little fun. And I think it's time for Joke of the Day.
Joke of the day. Oh, do you want one joke? Do you want multiple jokes? Do you want me to go into a tirade
No,
of jokes?
I think this is only a short podcast, so we don't want to go too long with it.
Okay. All right. So the other day, I had the unfortunate privilege of attending a funeral. And it was a great opportunity, but it was a sad thing too. Yes, it was. My uncle passed away. He died, and he died because no one could remember his blood type. He needed a transfusion.
Really?
Oh yeah, but we remember his last words to us. He said, "Be positive. Be positive."
Are we supposed to laugh at that, Steve? We're talking about death and personal things.
James is laughing, so I'm gonna.
He did say be positive. So I just remember that's just things that stayed with me
Forever.
And my uncle was also the one who gave me the wise advice. He said, son, he goes, let me tell you something. You want some good advice? He said, marry an ugly woman.
Really?
And I said, what? I said, that's kind of offensive. Why would you say that? And he said, well, she would never leave you. And I said, well, she would probably leave me just as quick as a pretty one would. He goes, yeah, but you wouldn't care. So I'm like, that's the advice I got from. But I did the opposite, and I married my wife. Ginger.
You better explain that.
I better get that one in there because she listens to these podcasts. That is just joking, all joking aside.
But we had a submission, though, right, from someone from the staff?
We had some great jokes submitted from one of our staff.
And they will get a $25 gift certificate.
They will.
Or card.
If they come by the alumni office, they will get a gift card. All they have to do is come by and say hello. So, but I wanted to let our guest, Steve Fiedler, go ahead and share these jokes in the only way that he can and let us hear these jokes delivered with such comedic timing. I think it's going to wow us all. All right.
So am I supposed to say who submitted the joke,
yeah,
or is that a secret?
Yeah, no, you can tell who submitted them.
So these jokes today have been submitted by Katie White.
Wow.
So
Katie. Way to go, Katie.
I mean,
Good job, Katie.
I think she submitted them while she was still on a pregnancy leave, too.
Well, maybe she was a little bored.
Could be.
That's true.
She dug
That's
deep.
true.
She found some good ones. How about this one?
All right. Here we go.
My kids asked me the other day where I got so much candy. I said, I've always have a few Twix up my sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Man.
I like that.
Love that one. How about this one?
Yeah.
Of all the inventions of the last 100 years, Academic Services agrees the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable.
Remarkable. I like that.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
All right, two more. How about this one?
Okay.
SAGU is looking to buy a used DeLorean. Did you know that?
I did
used
not know
DeLorean.
that. I would like that.
Good shape.
Yeah.
Good mileage. Only driven from time to time.
Ooh.
Great Scott.
Going back in time.
And
okay.
if you
Stop saying
probably got to be
that,
over 40-ish
Yeah,
to
you
know what
probably-
that joke means, but for all you under 40s,
Michael
you might
J.
want to Google that
Fox.
one.
Yes,
DeLorean.
that's a good one. Like
So,
that. Yeah.
Katie White, if you're listening,
Yeah, so
go
let's give
by
Katie a-
and,
no, I got
uh,
one more.
oh, you got
one
one
more.
more?
Last
Okay.
one.
Last one to
All
end
right,
on
it goes.
here.
Where does IT store their dad jokes? Anybody know? In their database.
Oh, wow. Now, I bet.
You know what? I think I'm going to take that gift card back.
Are you? I think we need a challenge. I think I'm going to throw out a challenge. here.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out a challenge to the IT department.
All right.
And say, you guys need to come up with the next round of jokes, dad jokes, for our next podcast.
Come
There
on,
you
IT
go.
department.
There
What
you
do you
go.
think?
Yeah.
Just call them out right there.
I mean,
go.
there's-
You think Tips even knows jokes?
I think they have them. I think
Yeah.
they are just there. Yeah.
Okay.
They're in, in their little spot back over there, and
Yeah.
it's always dark when I go in there. But I think they just sit around dreaming of jokes. I think that's what they do.
Well, they're in the database, aren't they?
They are in their dad.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I get to introduce, though we've kind of already introduced Steve, our esteemed
Steve who?
Director of Marketing, and Steve Fiedler. So, Steve, you've been here now about almost 15 months.
Seems like it's gone by super fast. But yeah, that's about right.
You have survived.
I have survived.
But day one, you've pretty much been working on the website, haven't you? I mean, it's like, all right, Steve, you're hired, and guess what? We're going to completely overhaul our website. Welcome aboard. But no, we learned a few things about the website that really needed some attention. And I guess the best way to, maybe for those of you who understand cars, we've pretty much overhauled the engine. And I just thought, since we've completed phase one, Steve, you could come in and share with staff and faculty kind of what that was, what that meant to us, especially when it comes to recruiting, and then talk a little bit more about phase two. So
Yeah, no,
you've got the microphone.
Well, just real quick here without getting too technical, but huge project, phase one completed. Really, essentially what we're doing in phase one, we migrated about 6,000 pages of content that was in a certain environment, and we moved it over to a new environment. There's a whole new content management system. It's a WordPress site now, and so I'll just, maybe I should apologize in advance for some of the glitches you experienced over the last few weeks. I think we got most of them worked out, but in that process, we're trying to make sure that all the forms are working and all the links are working. I think we've got it worked out, but certainly you can let us know if you've got pages or links that still aren't acting properly. But hopefully by now we've got those worked out. We're moving on to phase two, and really what phase two is about, again, ideally, the most popular search engine is Google. Everybody, it's a verb now, just Google it. Mm-hmm. And what we're trying to accomplish really at the high end of this is making sure that Google really sees our site better and recognizes our content better, and ultimately that we're able to be visible to people that are putting in searches for content relative to the university. And so this is the starting point for that, and moving it over to this WordPress environment certainly makes it easier to do that, and it gives us a really strong foundation. There's a technical term going around, so we have this whole SEO content strategy. So,
and what does SEO stand for?
SEO, I'm glad you asked, Rick. SEO,
Thank
search
you.
engine optimization, is actually what it stands for, and it really has to do with how people find us organically. And so now that we're in this new environment, Google sees our site better.
So there's some people who are less intelligent than Rick and I here, because we know what all this stuff means, don't we, Rick?
We sure, of course.
Of course.
So, organic. What do you mean when you say organic?
So organic essentially is you go to Google, for instance, and you type in some sort of term, some sort of phrase in Google, and you want it to spit out.
I just typed in Bible colleges near me.
So Bible colleges near me then is going to populate certain websites that have their content optimized and tagged for Christian University or whatever you just searched.
Okay, cool. And it did. It just popped up after the ads, Southwestern Assemblies of God University, right?
So there you go. So now it's a lot easier. Prior to this, a little bit tougher for people to find us organically. You could find us, but most of the people who are finding us were already affiliated or associated with the university, and we're trying to attract new customers all the time, new students all the time, potential students that may not be affiliated or even know who SAGU is. And now we've set a good foundation to be able, they will be able to find us easier and more consistently.
How can we control, though, let's say we really want people not to recognize us as a Bible college, but as a Christian university? How do we control that when we talk about SEO and Google search, things like that?
I mean, that's a pretty loaded question, but I'll give you a couple thoughts. Google's driven by content, so there's some other technical aspects to metadata, meta tagging. So we've got some work to do on that. But really, what we're trying to do now is produce content around our objectives here as a university, and really producing content that says we're broader, we're bigger, we offer more than just a Bible college university. We have a lot more to the experience of SAGU. And as you know, in this room, and certainly if you're a student here or even faculty and staff, our primary recruiting tool is our website. And so now the idea, and I kind of get into the next part of the question, is what's next, or what's our next focus? And really, our focus really now is revolving around SEO, ongoing SEO, and then our content strategy. How do we now begin to produce content that says we are more than just a Bible college? And so as we are producing content, people are reading it, accessing it, finding it. Google then puts us closer to the top of the list. Maybe our Google quality score begins to go up. We begin to be an expert in some of these other fields other than just Bible college. And it's an ongoing strategy. It's a long-term play here, but this is kind of where we start. And that's really the next phase. It's all really now. The next focus really is about our content strategy for the website. How do we begin to get that message out that this is who we are, and it's broader than maybe people have, maybe think we are, or in the past how we've been, focused around maybe the Bible college or the church environments, and really being able to break some of those molds through the content that we're producing.
I like that because I just searched Christian University near me, and SAGU, once again, after the ads, was the first one to pop up. We were before TCU.
Well, that's a huge improvement. That's
huge.
So that's good news.
That's what we want, right?
Yeah, we've not been in some of those searches, as we kind of talked about and kind of worked through the process. We've not been in many of those searches, and now we're starting to, as our site is being able to be tagged and content's really being able to be seen by Google.
A couple of weeks ago, I communicated this with Steve. I typed in Christian education, and SAGU picked up or popped up. Yeah,
cool.
So the money that we spent on that is working. But just kind of before James has his question, phase 2 will include some new creative content. Kind of go over that just a little bit.
Yeah. So there's along with SEO, the other primary focus is really twofold. There's another terminology, if you want to sound really smart, it's called information architecture and user experience. So we use acronyms of IA and UX. And really what we've found prior to this is that people are having a tough time finding the content they're looking for. And then if the content is there, how are they able to get to it? And there's been some struggle around people accessing content. So we are looking at and assessing the architecture side of our website and some of the highly trafficked pages, and as well as when somebody engages with our website, what is their journey like, and trying to measure some of these metrics within Google Analytics to say, how can we better make that user experience more optimal, more efficient, and they can access the information that they want. Part of that is addressing some of the creative opportunities in some of these key pages. So over the next summer months, we'll be addressing the architecture, the experience, and as well as you'll be seeing some new creative design and creative flair in some of the key pages. Not all of them. It's an ongoing, but in some of those key pages, homepage and some of the more heavily trafficked popular pages, you'll start seeing some difference in navigation, information, and again, some of the creative aspects.
Okay. So phase 1 is as you said, the SEO. That's the focus.
That was the migration.
That's the migration.
Yeah. Phase 2 includes SEO
and working on all that, right? I just typed in best criminal justice programs near me. Boom. Guess who pops up?
SAGU.
Wow. Worst VP of advancement near me. Rick Bowles. What? Just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about this. So you talked about the pages is probably going to be the most notable things that students or faculty is going to see, right? When as you're changing it, they're probably going to notice the look of it when they go to sagu.edu, right?
Soon, not yet, but
not
soon.
yet, but soon.
Yeah.
So they're going to be their biggest thing they notice, and that's coming soon. As in,
well, we'll probably spend the summer months as the schedule winds down and some of the academic traffic dies down and people are off campus. It gives us a little more opportunity to dive into some of the things without really much disruption. I think that's kind of one of the things. So really over the next few months, if you're in. Again, I'll just give you an example. Much of our staff and faculty probably operates in the SAGU. Probably not a lot happening there. We don't use that to recruit students. Again, kind of the higher level goal is making sure that the new student recruiting is optimal and efficient. So if you're not in some of those highly trafficked pages, you may or may not see some of these changes, but that's really kind of where our focus is.
So for instance, the alumni department, our pages, you're saying that you're not giving priority to us.
I mean, if you
I
want
knew
to write
this
us
was
a
coming,
check,
Steve.
If you want to write us a check, maybe we could do some negotiating.
Isn't it all about what's in it for me? I mean, come on, right?
Let's call Ginger.
Let's call Ginger and let's see what she says. Okay, So no, this is great. I think this is a way past due needed thing, right, that we have going on here. So how can the staff and faculty help promote SAGU through their own social media connections? What's the best thing we can do?
I mean, quite simply, it's not rocket science. So our social media, honestly, over the last 6 months has been performing exceptionally well. We have gained followers, 10, 12% really over the last, I guess really it's the beginning of the semester. So quite honestly, the easiest way is to access through your social media and either that's the easiest. Click the like button. The more likes, it kind of garnishes some momentum. And people like that. They don't like to be the first one to click the like button, right? But when there's 100 likes on there, sure, I'll add to that. The other thing, quite easily, at least in the Facebook environment, which is some of the older adult populations, is to share. Share it from
Older. That's your age, Rick. I think he's talking about.
You just interrupted him. Let him finish, would you?
I just had to get that in.
We're also. I don't. Again,
because you did look at him, Steve.
I was trying not to.
You did.
I was trying not to. I don't. On the Instagram, which tends to be the younger audiences, you can tag, right? You can still share in those environments, and we've got great photography. You can peruse those, like, share, comment, and engage. That's another great metric for us. That when you comment and share through your platform, it gets shared. People that are in your platform and in your friend circles, they see that, and again, it points it back to SAGU. If you're on Twitter and you want to retweet, that's another great way. So as our Twitter feed goes out, a lot of it's in the athletics area, but even in our main account, as you see those, you can retweet. Awesome. Simple things like that, like, share, comment.
So I've got a couple of followers from Nigeria that are constantly wanting to help give me money, and so those guys I can actually direct and have them like our pages and be on board with that too. So I think that would be cool.
That's pretty
amazing.
amazing.
Awesome.
How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you, JB. I was waiting for that. Just a little slow, but
I wanted to see how long it would drag out.
Well, we've got a couple of announcements. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for being
thanks
here.
For having me.
And
it's great.
of course,
great being here.
I've been able to follow all that progress, and it's got to be a little bit of a load taken off of you, even though there's a lot more work to do. Because we really just bombarded you and said, hey, can you just replatform our website? Yeah. It's not like Steve's been doing it, but he's been doing a lot of work with the company.
Yes.
That and by the way, many of you may know the Jeter family, but this company that we hired, the Jeter grandson, I guess, probably. In fact, Emily Jeter, I think, is still on campus. It's his daughter that's on campus. But anyway, he came to SAGU, and he's one of the principals and one of the guys that Steve works with for this project. So that's pretty cool that we're able to bring him into this.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It was a big, heavy lift, but I'm excited about the future and the foundation we're laying, and we're already seeing great results in the search engines.
Well, Steve, I just want to say you're a big deal, okay? You are a big deal. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
I appreciate it. Thank you, James.
Did you know what next week is? Next week is commencement. It is the last week of the semester.
Wow, already.
So, yes. So we will have our Board of Regents
and you know what that
on
means
campus.
For staff, right?
What does that mean?
Jeans and T-shirts.
Of course, you'd be thinking about that. But
leave it to James.
Yes.
Thank you for the reminder.
The board of Regents will be on campus, so look your best, smile, make sure you say hello to them and all that. But so that'll be Thursday and Friday. But then commencement is 3:00 on Friday. We are combining both undergrad and grad. We used to do that before COVID. We've split it up the last couple of years, but we're bringing it all together. So one big celebration at 3:00, and we're excited for all those who are graduating and moving forward with their life.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Well, hey, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Affirmation is his love language, so we make sure we continue to
pat on
give
the
that
back.
to him. Yes. So it is that time, your favorite time of the broadcast, where we recognize all of our new staff members. It's exciting, right? What about birthdays? Because, my birthday was just last week, right?
Well, happy birthday, James.
Thank you.
Yeah. We got a lot of pushback.
Did we?
Yeah. It seemed like went on forever. And for some reason, some of us couldn't pronounce names correctly.
James Carnell.
Yeah,
Carnell
and so
James.
we've got to figure out a better way
So
to
we
spend
wait-
20 minutes listing all the
We
birthdays.
wait until it's my birthday month, and then we stop doing it.
I
see.
think we'll bring it back in June.
I get it.
I think we'll bring it
Yeah,
back in
I
June.
bet you will. Yeah. Next month, maybe even. No problem. Yes. Okay, let's get to our new staff members as I work through my bitterness. Brennan Baker is the new student records coordinator. He enjoys reading, long walks on the beach, hiking, camping, and kayaking. So, Brennan, congratulations. Welcome. Raven Buck. Raven is the new assistant director of the Learning Centers. She enjoys trying out new coffee shops and making jewelry. I like that name, by the way. Raven Buck. That's pretty cool. James, or JB, as we call him in the office. Why don't you take it away on the remaining new employees?
All right, well, I'm going to pretend like I didn't actually call some of these people to get their correct pronunciation on their name, but I did because of said pushback. So Zoe Carey is the new executive assistant to the president of AIC, the remarkable Dr. Jonathan Gannon. She enjoys martial arts, watching movies, and hanging out with friends and family. Dr. Joseph Reed is the new professor for the Department of Science. He enjoys taking walks with his wife, spending time with Jesus, reading, horseback riding, skiing, hiking, swimming, grilling, and woodworking.
When does he
Wait a
teach?
minute.
Wow.
When does he
I mean,
teach?
this
That's what I
dude,
wanna
This is
know.
a Renaissance man.
I'm telling you.
And finally, well, not finally, Ruth Urquidi is a new admissions counselor for AIC. She enjoys long walks. We're seeing a trend here. Running, hiking, snowboarding, camping, and anything outdoorsy. And finally, Coach Donald Kinchin is the new assistant football coach.
So I see a trend here, Rick.
What's that?
All these long walks. They don't mention long walks with our spouse or with my spouse.
I think one of them did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Dr.
Reed.
Reed.
Yeah.
Dr. Reed. Okay. Okay. Because the others I'm kind of worried about. Taking a long walk away from their spouse.
Yeah, we've heard of some of your long walks.
Yes.
Ginger sends you out for those long
She
walks.
does. She goes,
Walks that UPD brings you back.
she's like, James, why don't you go fishing or something? A long weekend.
Well, congratulations. Welcome to the fun, faithful family of SAGU and AIC. Those of you that are here at SAGU, come by our advancement office, and we have a welcome gift for you. And those of you in Phoenix, we will make sure we send, or Amy will send the gift card.
Send.
And we did that the last time, and
Yeah.
we mailed those off. So we do what we say we will. Just want you to know. You're looking at me like we don't do it, but we
do that, yes.
All right, we are coming close to a close. I want to mention a sporting event. So next Saturday, that'll be this coming Saturday, April 30th. Baseball will be hosting a doubleheader against. Now, JB, I didn't call ahead. Is this Bacon or Bacon College? Does anybody know?
It looks like Bacone.
Bacon. Thank you so much.
I could be
And
wrong.
See, there's
they're
an
from
E-
Oklahoma,
there's
and
a-
I don't even
there's
know
an
that.
E at the end.
Oh,
so
Oh, if it's Oklahoma, it's Bacani.
There
I'm
you
joking.
go.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go. Anyway, 1 o'clock starts the doubleheader, and then they will be heading to conference play. So
Awesome.
congratulations on
Great
that.
job, Coach Matt.
Any final words from anyone before we end the podcast?
Well, I just want to say it was so good having Steve here.
Yeah.
It was really good having him here.
Yeah.
He's a sharp guy.
Yeah,
and
good to
and
be here.
JB, thank you for
Good to be
helping us
seen.
out here. Appreciate that. And Rick. Well, anyway, that's thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
That's our show.
That is the show for today.
Have a great day.